Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Andrew Yang. We're going to talk about a young gentleman from America, specifically the state of North Carolina, named Josh Neuman. And we're going to talk about the idea of elevating the trivial to the transcendent. Right? Specifically today, I want to talk about the idea that elevating the trivial to the transcendent is something America does more, faster, and better than any other nation in the world. And that it's possible that elevating the trivial to the transcendent may be America's greatest resource in the future. We very much need Andrew Yang to think very carefully about this aspect of American power and determine how it should be preserved and if it should be marginally or massively promoted through policy, taxes, and laws during his presidency from 2021 all the way through 2024. All right? Very, very important topic. Let's dig into this. All right, so who is this North Carolinian, who is this American named Josh Neuman from North Carolina? Well, specifically, he is a downhill skateboarder. All right. Now, and what he does is he finds miles long downhill runs, specifically on mountains in the United States of America, Austria, Switzerland, France, and Italy. Okay. And he identifies these these many miles long runs down these mountains on twisting roads. Okay, and he specifically then rides down these twisting mountain roads on a longboard skateboard. Josh Neuman is very good at this. Actually, he is not just very good at this. He is not even world class at this. He is not even historically good at this. He is better at this than anyone ever thought it would even be possible to be as good as he is at this. And the reason why is what he is doing specifically is he is using YouTube. And with YouTube, he is doing a very specific thing, which is he is blending daring, technology, and very specifically scaled skill escalation. Okay? Now, this scaled skill escalation is a very important part of this. And specifically, it comes from YouTube. So, one of the reasons why Josh Neuman is this American downhill longboard skateboarder, is so good at this is he's able to use YouTube and watch longboard downhill skateboarders from all over the world, look at their mistakes, look at their successes, and then immediately eliminate their mistakes from his riding style and implement their successes into his riding style. He doesn't need their permission. He doesn't even need to talk to them, right? He is literally being mentored by the world, right? And again, what he is doing is this incredibly unique blend of American daring, American use of technology, and American scaled skill escalation, right? And it has blended into this amazing thing that we're going to talk about in depth today, right? I'm going to leave a link to just a 3-minute video of Josh Neuman doing his thing. I think you will see exactly what I see. It is haunting, beautiful, and transcendent what he is accomplishing, and it's truly incredible, right? And it's also the kind of, and I think a lot of people are out there are going to be like, oh, this is just skateboarding. But when you see somebody executing something at a world class level, at a historic level, and even at a level that really is breaking, is really showing how how we're going to do everything in the future, right? And this scaled skill escalation is massively important, right? Where because everybody's putting everything on camera and putting it up through YouTube, and because this can be done for free and it's done at scale, and because it can be hyper focused on incredibly small, narrow niche areas, How we learn is changing incredibly quickly, and nothing shows this better than Josh Neuman, right? And this is uniquely American. And it's truly incredible. I want you to see this. Take a look at it after this video, and I think you're going to see what I see. That Josh Neuman very well may be the future of America, especially in an Andrew Yang presidency, because of what he's accomplishing now and what it means for learning overall. Okay, let's talk about this in depth and talk about why this is so incredibly important. Okay, all right. So Josh Neuman, okay, he's this downhill longboard skater, right, skateboarder. He does his thing on mountain roads in the U.S., Austria, Switzerland, France, and Italy. He routinely hits 65 miles an hour. On the roads he's on, he bypasses pedestrians, cyclists, oncoming cars, terrain elements. There's water on the roads. There's bumps in the roads that can kick his board up 2-3 feet. Not a big deal to kick your board up 2-3 feet. It's a big deal if you're going 65 miles an hour, right? Like, yeah, right? Okay, that's everything in front of him. Pedestrians, cyclists, oncoming cars, terrain elements, water, and bumps, okay? What is behind him, right? There is a camera skateboarder, and there is a car camera crew. That's behind him. There are oncoming cars, and there's an incoming car. Did you catch that? He's in between. Like, it's truly incredible. So when Josh Neuman is zooming down these mountain roads at 65 miles an hour, there are pedestrians to watch for, cyclists to watch for, oncoming cars to watch for, terrain elements to watch for, and he has to know the exact position of the camera skateboarder behind him and the car camera crew behind him, right? The equipment he uses for this is a longboard, an audio comlink, a helmet, and skid gloves. Skid gloves are unique to longboard downhill skaters. Truly incredible, right? So when Josh Neuman is, just like assaulting these mountain roads, just going down them as fast as he can possibly go, he has to reduce his speed at times, right? The only ways he can reduce his speed is to rise and lower his body on his longboard, to kick his board sideways for horizontal friction, right? Or to use his skid gloves, right, which have these plastic knobs, to create slowing friction, right? So he only has 3 real options to slow himself. If he executes even one thing wrong, he can end his life state by slamming into an oncoming car, or slamming into a mountain face, or slamming into a ridge of rocks, or slamming into a road barrier. What Josh Neuman is doing is a witch's brew of complexity, danger, and difficulty. It is absolutely incredible, and it is purely American, right? Now, why are we talking about him today? Like, what's this got to do with politics, right? A lot, okay? But the reason we're talking today, right, is I was watching footage of Josh Neuman, and I watched him navigate around a terrain element at about 50 miles an hour, slide his board sideways, right, and pass an oncoming car. And then, so he's gone around this terrain element. He's gone past an oncoming car, and it's incredible. He comes just a little bit off his board, and he looks back, and with his back hand, he motions for his car camera crew to come in closer. I was astounded, right? He is surrounded by elements that can end his life state instantly, and yet his concern was get in closer to get the shot, telling a car that is following him on a longboard skateboard to come in closer. That is the most baller American thing I have ever seen in my life, next to Bernie Sanders continuing his campaign run after he got a heart attack, right? It's just pure red, white, and blue courage. That's all it is. Like, this is how it's done. This is America, right? Donald Glove wants to tell you what America is. Josh Neuman is America. America is sailing down an Italian mountain at 50 miles an hour, right? And calling for your car camera crew to get in closer, right? To you on your longboard skateboard. Like, that kid, like, well, actually, he's no kid. He's an adult now, right? Josh Neuman is painting the American flag with his skateboard over France, Italy, Australia, Switzerland, right? Everywhere those wheels touch, we own it. It's cultural. We are taking over those nations culturally, right? This visiting American is going and taking his skateboard and owning their roads, right? This visiting American is accomplishing things that are cooler than anyone who lives in those countries ever did, right? It's astonishing, right? And this only comes from American bravery. It's astounding. It's transcendent. It is the trivial being lifted to the transcendent. Skateboards are trivial, but not when you lift them to transcendence. It's incredible, right? All right. So you have all this happening, right? And really, it's a reminder at that macro level, America routinely turns the trivial into the transcendent. We pursue the trivial with absolute intensity. We pursue it with a readiness to sacrifice swiftly and ultimately. Josh Neuman is ready to sacrifice swiftly and ultimately for something that is uniquely trivial, right? And this is just truly American and incredibly modern. Many, many nations have been willing to let people risk their lives for war, for rescue, for achievement. America is the only nation in the world that creates adventurers at scale, right? People who are willing to risk their lives for the trivial. It's incredible, right? And it may be our greatest resource. Not the stupid rocks in our ground or oil. You can get that anywhere, right? Not tech innovation, right? Tech innovation is being found in other places. Brazil, Hong Kong, India, right? But who is creating Josh Neumans? Who? You got, and this is why Bernie Sanders cannot become president, right? You think a socialist nation can create a Josh Neuman? A person who can just hop on a longboard skateboard and paint the American flag on a mountain road in the middle of Italy, right? Like, just with sheer awesomeness? They can't, right? There's no longboard skaters in China, right? You think there's a longboard skater in socialist Russia that has a fraction of his skill, right? Do you think Venezuela has longboard skateboarders right now? They don't. Everywhere where socialism is, everywhere that Bernie, where Bernie's take your property and give it to the government exists, they're not creating this kind of awesomeness. It doesn't exist. Socialism sucks awesomeness and it just kind of spits it out and into a fine mist. It goes away. This is why Bernie cannot be elected, because Josh Neumans just evaporate. Right? There are no Josh Neumans in China. There are no Josh Neumans in Russia. There are no Josh Neumans in Venezuela. Socialist countries can't make him. We can. We make him in numerous numbers, like in high numbers. Right? All right. So it truly, truly is just incredible what he is accomplishing. We pursue things in America. We pursue the trivial at levels that other nations don't even pursue the non-trivial, okay? What Josh Neuman is doing is a convergence of American daring, red, white, and blue technical prowess, amber waves of natural beauty. It's incredible, right? This has to be preserved. The freedom dividend can increase the depth or the breadth of this. There could be more people who do it, or the people who do it now could do it better. Right? It is a blending of daring, technology, and scaled skill escalation. It is truly incredible, and it is uniquely American. One other thing is Josh Neuman very quickly and loudly answers the very political question which has been asked debate after debate after debate. This is a question that Andrew Yang has been asked directly. Should American billionaires exist? Heck to the yes, right? Josh Neuman is a product of American billionaires. How, right? Why do you need American billionaires to make a future world class longboard skateboarding expert, right? Well, Josh Neuman is sponsored. Guess by who, right? By the skateboard industry, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Vans shoes alone probably has produced multiple billionaires, right? And that comes straight off of American skateboarding energy, right? It's truly incredible. All right. So wealth is absolutely needed to elevate the trivial to the transcendent. And so the reality is, when you see Josh Neuman, you really see where we have arrived as America. And the reality is, I just kind of want to hit this button one more time to explain where we're at, right? Josh Neuman truly is the pinnacle of elevating the trivial to transcendent. It's something we as America do more, we do faster, we do better than any other nation in the world. And it's really possible that this elevating the trivial to the transcendent is our greatest resource. Many of the other things that we do can be copied, are copied, right? But not this. We are the cool kid, of the world. Everybody wants to be us, right? And the reality is, so many of the things that we have in that, those traditional resources, other countries are getting close, but nobody has Josh Neuman's. You will not find Josh Neuman anywhere else in the world. He is truly unique, right? And he is carving the American eagle onto mountain roads all over the world. And everywhere he goes, he leaves just a red, white, and blue trail of awesomeness that cannot be copied, right? And so, realizing this, we need Andrew Yang to think. We need him to watch what Josh Neuman is doing and saying, how do we preserve this? How do we understand this as American power, right? How do we understand this as peaceful cultural expansion, right? We all want to get, Tulsi Gabbard wants to get rid of war. This is how it's done. Let's take over their mindset, right? Josh Neuman has defeated France, Italy, Austria, Switzerland. He went onto their roads and did things cooler than anyone in those countries has ever done with just a skateboard alone, right? He's defeated everyone in those countries and shown them awesomeness. He has invaded their country with our flag and just spread it across every inch of their roads, right? But not a single blade was lifted. Not a round was spent, right? This is cultural expansion the way it should work, right? This is Tulsi Gabbard's dream on a rolling board, right? And the thing that excites me is Tulsi can't see this. Tulsi is an amazing politician, but she doesn't have Andrew Yang's mind, right? But Andrew Yang is brilliant. He's 10-generation brilliant. He's once in 10-generation leader, right? And this is why I'm so excited about Andrew Yang. He can see this stuff, right? He can see that our future needs more than rocks in the ground. It needs more than tech innovation. It needs more than another stupid app to deliver fast food from some silly restaurant to you, right? We need to totally rethink how we progress as Americans. And I'm telling you, the future is Josh Neuman, right? And Andrew Yang is brilliant enough to see it and then create policies, taxes, and laws, right, that make it so that there's a place in the world for Josh Neuman to fit and for a new Josh Neuman to fit, right? And this is why I'm so excited, because our president right now, he doesn't have a space in his head for it. And he certainly doesn't have a space in his heart for it. But Yang does. This is why we so desperately need to pave the road to the White House for Andrew Yang, right? And the reality, when he's there, I really hope that Josh Newman's at his inauguration, right? Because the reality is, this is a new way of seeing the world. It truly is. And it's a new way for us to get things we want without the old ways where people were harmed, right? There's no one harmed here. It's truly incredible. Truly incredible. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion on the topic. Do you think Josh Neuman is just as much a part of the future of America as Andrew Yang will be? Or do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.